I'm here at SNP Conference Day 2 and I'm with MP Alison Thewliss, who yesterday was part of moving a motion to decriminalise drugs and has also been recently announced as one of the new members of the SNP's Social Justice and Fairness Commission. So just to start with, could you tell me a wee bit about the Commission and what its purpose is?
Yeah, well, the first meeting of the Commission just was, to start to set out some of the things that we want to look for, some of the things that we want to discuss. And I think what's important for me actually ties in with some of the stuff around the drug policy. It's looking at people who have been left behind by society more generally, and people who don't really have a say in the democratic process, and people for a long time have just written off people who've been taking drugs as not really worth bothering with, and that can't go on any longer, should never have gone on in the first place. But it's trying to make sure that those communities that are not really reached at the moment, we can actually make sure that they have a say and an input into things like the Social Justice and Fairness Commission, because if we want to achieve a socially just society, it has to take everybody with it.
And of course, you're quite well known for the work you did on advocating against the rape clause. Would you say that kind of comes from the same kind of drive? Does that kind of drive most of your politics?
It does, and it's that kind of thing you just can't do that to people. And I've got a real kind of anger inside at the kind of policies that the Tories inflict upon people with no kind of conception about how people live their lives. And you see that sort of again and again in DWP policy and in things that are done to people by the Home Office, whether it's drugs policy, whether it's the hostile environment. It's all things where things are done to people with no kind of conception of the impact of those. So it's making sure that all of those experiences, all of those influences feed into the Social Justice and Fairness Commission, because if we want to build a socially just Scotland, we want to build this independent country where everybody can have a voice and a say, we need to look at the impact of policies on people and the barriers that hold people back.
Yeah, and will the Commission, how will it engage with those communities that it's kind of seeking to support?
Yeah, we're still figuring out, the mechanisms of how that can happen in a formal sense, but all of us as commissioners have a responsibility to go out and to listen to people and to speak to the communities that we all have an influence in. So it's quite a diverse group of people on the Social Justice and Fairness Commission. We've all come from different backgrounds and different experiences, so it's making sure that we go out and we listen to folk, and we just do that on a kind of ongoing basis through this as well, and an informal basis as well as a formal basis. I'm quite keen for people who have ideas, who have suggestions, who have things that they think should be part of it, can just get in touch with us as a commission or us individually to put those ideas forward. So I had a chat with a charity in Glasgow the other week, and they were saying, well, there's an issue with women who are lone parents who want to study. So they go to university, they get bursaries from this organisation, but because the DWP would rather have them out to work rather than studying, they end up getting sanctioned, and they lose their benefits, and that's to nobody's benefit at all. Those women want to progress and improve their lives. The benefit system as it exists holds them back. This organisation wants to help them, so we need to find ways of making sure that there aren't barriers in the way of letting people go ahead in their lives and do things. We need to try and make sure that there are things there to support people in those circumstances.
Yeah, and obviously these issues very much bridge kind of devolved and reserved areas. So, before independence, how do you see that we can really address those issues that are reserved?
Yeah. I mean, the Commission is happy to take suggestions on that as well. It shouldn't be, we're going to put this in a box and wait till we're independent to deal with it. That's no use at all. It's something that we need to get involved in now. And if there are things that we can do, the Commission's more than happy to take on those recommendations and say, well, this particular thing should change, or could be done differently, or could be done in a better way, or it could take examples from other places. So we're more than happy to be open to that.
Great, well, there's an invitation, folks, so get in touch. Thanks very much, Alison.